Hey, this is the World Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is why do great empires collapse? So for this video today, I'm going to discuss the main reason why they collapse compared to the numerous different reasons that they collapse and even the so-called claimed reasons why they collapse. There's actually a main reason why empires tend to collapse, and that's what I'll be getting to in this video. So remember to watch, and you'll be enlightened as well as entertained, as not only will I explain things, I will also of course give a solution on how we can do that so we can avoid making the same mistakes in the past we made. So let's get started. So when it comes to the first question of why did great empires collapse, the question of why do they collapse so often, the main reason why they tend to collapse, which might come as a surprise to a lot of people, is corruption. As the truth of the matter is, when it comes to corruption, that is the main reason why they tend to collapse. Because when you have corruption, obviously, as we already know, money makes the world go around. If we live in a world where people all the time, you know, obviously need people to do things for them, like for example, make sure that the roads are well lit, the roads are well paved, there's a good sewage system, blah, 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 all that type of stuff, the buildings are well maintained, and so on and so forth, then common sense would obviously indicate that you need people to do that for you, not unless you're willing to do it for yourself. And it's better to have someone do it for you who's an expert in that field so they can do it properly. Okay, so that's why we always have people who do things for us. But if you have a case of corruption and people keep on putting money in their own pocket, then of course their empire. So yeah, like I was saying before, when it comes to great empires, obviously if you're not clearly going to have people put the money in their own pocket, you're not having people do those things, then of course there's going to be issues, of course there's going to be problems, as well as obviously having poorly maintained troops. Wars are expensive, you need something to keep people well fed, as well as the equipment, the quality of training, and so on and so forth, are things that obviously are needed in order for, of course, a nation to grow, a civilization to not just grow, but to stay stable. And if you have people just putting the money in their own pocket, then clearly, obviously, it's going to have problems. And we see this problem, or I should say, we saw this problem with nations like Rome. That's the main reason why they really collapsed, because of corruption, because a lot of people are more focused on putting money in their own pocket and maintain the empire. We saw the exact same thing happen to many different other civilizations. Another one that obviously this clearly happened to a lot of would, for example, be, easily, if I could come up with one, which, oh boy, is there a lot. Another empire that obviously experienced something similar to that was ancient Egypt. Experienced something similar to that. Even before they collapsed, they had a lot of that there, and a lot of other empires that also collapsed had a lot of that there. They just had corrupt people, and as time goes on, things tend to start collapsing, and as you can already tell, the more and more things start collapsing, the more and more great empires, collapse. You know, they obviously collapse, and they collapse hard, you know, because obviously they're not used to living a hard life, and they just relied on money and stuff to, or I should say, they relied on luxuries, efficiency, and they collapse because there's nothing well there to maintain it. And the people don't really know how to do anything else aside from their one particular skill. They're not like hunter gatherers and stuff. So they collapse really hard. And that's the truth of the matter about great civilizations and why they collapse not only just hard, but they collapse so freaking hard because they don't have anything to maintain them. You know, they don't have anything to keep them functioning. And that's why corruption is such a big issue for any civilization to function. You know, and we see this happen all the time throughout many civilizations and why they collapse. And we're seeing the same thing happen today with America. They're collapsing because of corruption. And that's why their infrastructure is collapsing. A lot of issues they have are caused due to corruption. So the truth of the matter is, it's no different for America either compared to than even Rome. Corruption destroys nations. It destroys it more than anything else. So obviously, if corruption is such a big issue, what could obviously be the solution to solve the problem? Well, the simple solution I would give, because I know it's a very complicated issue, there's different forms of corruption and stuff, but the main thing I would definitely say is that I personally believe, you know, since the point of my channel is to give advice for things, is that people who are in positions of power should not be allowed to directly access the funds of taxpayer dollars, not unless they are being monitored in some way, shape, or form. Okay? Because obviously, if you have someone who's monitoring you, okay, like someone who's monitoring you in all honesty, like in some way, then obviously you can make sure that, okay, we make sure the money goes directly to the people who want it and not for your own personal gain. Okay? That's how the world works. The world, it would not work in a different way than that. You would have to do something like that to kind of make sure things stay stable, you know, of course. Because you think you can give someone with all that power and being around all those kiss asses who tell them all the time, oh, you're so this, you're so that, you're so this, you're so that, you're so great, you're so great, you're so great, and so on and so forth, and just put in a position of that and not expect them to be corrupt. You got to be kidding me. So that's what I'm trying to say. They should not be able to access public funds in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. Not whatsoever should they be able to access it. And if they do access it, they should only be able to do that when obviously they're with a certain person in a position of authority. You see what I'm saying? That's how it should work. This whole idea of like, oh, you know, you're elected, so you're powerful, you can make your own decisions. It does not really work in the real world. It's only a matter of time before someone gets corrupt. So that's what I'm thinking in my head. So that's the truth of the matter when it comes to this particular issue, and that's the exact reason, um, you know, the exact solution more like I believe we can use to solve this problem. Because without doing that, then we're just gonna have the same issue and we're gonna have the same problems we've always had. So anyway, this is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video and like videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And that's all I have to say. And simply put it, later.